Hello, everybody. It's me, Shannon Love Rouvier. I am live and loving it tonight. Welcome to Sunday Night Live, where we explore the principles that equip you to thrive in change. You can thrive in all manner of change, even if it's a dark season, even if it's change that you didn't invite, that came out of nowhere and took you by surprise, even if it was unwelcome, unwanted change. I am here to tell you that you can still thrive in the midst of it. And by thriving, I mean that you can be nourishing your roots so that when it's time for you to bloom and blossom again, you are going to be stronger and healthier and have more fruit in your life. It's possible. And you are in the right place to find out how to do it and to practice it, get stronger with people that feel the same way, that want you to thrive and grow. And that's part of our topic tonight, which is going to be great. Oh, Tammy, hi. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. If you are new to Sunday Night Live, or even if you're not new, drop a hello in the comments. Let us know that you're here, that you're leaning into growing and thriving. Missy, it's so good to see you. I'm hugging you virtually. So glad to see you. And welcome. So, tonight we are going to be talking about the Thrive Principle hashtag bring the honor. You guys know Bring the Honor is one of my favorite. It is the cornerstone upon which my whole life is built. Bring the honor. You can bring the honor to every situation, but we also can expect other people to bring honor as well. Or we can make decisions about how much access we give them to our thoughts, our beliefs, our decisions, and our behavior. Oh, so tonight we are exploring Bring the Honor. And tonight's Sunday Night Live is brought to you by Thumb Roast Coffee, which is the best coffee in the world. I'm not going to lie. It is delicious and you can have it no matter where you live. I happen to be within driving distance of Thumb Roast Coffee, and that is my preferred way to purchase it. But if you don't feel like driving to the Thumb of Michigan, if it's a little farther for you, you can have Thumb Roast Coffee delivered to your mailbox by going to thumbroastcoffee.com. And whatever you put in your basket, you're going to be able to get 15% off when you use the coupon code Thrive, THRIVE. Use that coupon code at thumbroastcoffee.com, and you will get 15% off of the most delicious coffee you'll ever drink. Not lying, it's so good. All right, so let me see. What do I need here? Yes, so we got, oh, Laura, and hi, Denise. I'm glad you're here as well. So thank you, everybody, for jumping on. And just let me say, tonight's topic is something that we can actually practice more than just one time. Most of the things that we talk about on Sunday Night Live are things that we can talk about or that we can revisit on more than one occasion. We are not just one and done on the principles that we use here on Sunday Night Live. So this is one of those principles. And we are going to talk about who is everybody and how are they influencing your life. So anybody ever try to convince your mom to let you do something that she was absolutely not going to let you do? Or maybe you wanted to wear something that she was never going to let you wear. What was the reasoning you gave to your mom when you said, let me do it, let me do it? And she said, no. I'll bet you're just like me. This was the reasoning. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's going. Everybody's wearing it. Everybody is doing it. And my mom would say, and I'll bet your mom said too, if everybody was jumping off a cliff, would you do it? Right? Well, it is worth examining who everybody is. Everybody thinks it. That's not true. Everybody's saying it. That's not true. Everybody's doing it. Not true. But we think in terms of those everybody's, that broad category of everybody. And it can feel so overwhelming. The pressure can feel intense. So I want to explore it just a bit. So I want you to fill in the blanks. Maybe you've got a piece of paper. You might want to do this as a mental exercise. But these are some questions that I found when I was a long time ago doing some research on peer pressure and that kind of thing. And I found this really great blog post by Martha Beck. And she had a list of fill in the blanks that I'm going to share with you because I think they're so great. So here are the fill in the blanks. I want you to do this with me. Write it down or just mentally think it. But I want you to really be sincere. First question is this, or the first Mad Lib. Everybody wants me to blank. Everybody wants me to blank. Okay, next. Everyone thinks I'm blank. Everyone thinks I'm blank. Here's a doozy. Everyone expects me to blank. Are you filling in those blanks? Everyone expects me to. And finally, everyone's always telling me blank. Everyone's always telling me blank. I want you to look at those statements, consider those statements, and answer this question. All that stuff that everybody's wanting and thinking and expecting and telling you, is it making you feel better? Or is it making you feel worse? Here's why I ask, because most of the time, the everybody in our lives are critics. They're the voices that are telling us the things that we're not doing, how we're falling short, how we're not measuring up, how we ought to be doing something differently than we're doing, or how we need to stop doing the things that we're doing. Everybody in our life, unless we really are intentional about it, everybody turns out to be a bunch of jerks. Everybody usually isn't helping you get to where you need to be. Everybody, more often than not, are the people that have hurt us in the past. They're the people who have been judgmental. They were the cool kids at school, right? They were the group at work that we wanted to be part of, but they wouldn't let us. So I want you to think about those statements that we just filled in. Everybody wants me to. Everybody thinks I'm. Everyone expects me to. Everyone's always telling me. And instead of it being everybody, because there's probably, in fact, I'm just gonna say this is certain. There are a lot of people in the world who don't even know who you are, but our subconscious calls just a handful of voices, maybe one or two, but probably no more than 6. Just a handful of people in our brain, we label them as everybody. And I want you to visit those statements. Everybody wants me to. Everybody thinks I'm. Everybody expects me to. Everybody's always telling me to. And I want you to assign some names to those voices. Who are the people on your everybody committee? Who are the actual people who want you to X or think you're Y or expect you to Z or are telling you A? And are those people speaking life to you? Are those voices? And trust me, sometimes those people aren't in your life right now. I can still remember so vividly being in fourth grade and it was freezing outside. And my mom hated to be cold and she didn't want me to be cold. And my coat had a hood. And I was refusing to put my hood up in the dead of winter to walk a half a mile to school because everybody thinks hoods are stupid. You know, I was an adult and refusing to put my hood up on a cold beach because everybody thinks hoods are stupid. It took a real effort for me to realize, why am I freezing? Why am I refusing to put my hood up? It was 30 years before, 40 years before. Those voices, everybody in our lives, those voices may be from decades ago in some cases. Or on the flip side of that coin, those voices, your everybody, might be people who you just met. And you're measuring your success, gauging your effectiveness, plotting your next steps based on everybody's opinion. And everybody does not have a plan for your life that matches what you know you were designed and built to do. They just don't. Who are the everybody's in your life that chime in with their opinions whenever you get ready to make a change? We're talking about how to thrive and change right now. Who are the everybody's in your life that chime in when you prepare to make a change? Oh, people have opinions, don't they? They've got so many opinions. Whose opinions pop up for you, whether they're actual people speaking across from you from the table, or maybe they're voices from 30, 40 years ago that say, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, right? Better safe than sorry. Everybody says you're better safe than sorry. Everybody thinks that a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. That's why it's called common wisdom, right? That's why they're out there, because everybody thinks they're true. But who is your everybody? Because everybody doesn't think that's true. So let's hear what you're thinking. What is this stirring up for you guys? This idea that everybody is guiding some of your actions and decisions and thoughts, but actually it's only a few people, and those people can be replaced. What do you think? Who's chiming into your life? How intentional have you been about making sure that your everybody committee is not staffed with the mean girls from high school, the snarky boss who didn't want you to thrive because he didn't want you to take his position, the parent that wouldn't allow you to stretch and grow because she was trying to keep you safe, but instead she kept you stuck? Just some examples of the everybody's that we can have on our committee speaking into our lives, influencing us, even though we haven't invited them to, even though it's not their job. And sometimes, if we're not careful, we don't even realize that we are trying to live up to the expectations of everybody. If you can put some names, some faces to the everybody's that you're listening to, you get to decide then, do I want to keep listening to them? Are they qualified for me to look to them for approval? Interesting stuff. So let's hear it. What's going on? What's being stirred up for you? Is there an area in your life where you've been holding back because of what everybody would think? Drop it in. Share it with us. We're safe people. We're part of a committee. We're part of a committee that supports each other, supports you, supports your hopes and dreams, supports your capacity, your potential, supports your ability to thrive and change. You can staff your Everybody Committee with a bunch of real people who actually appreciate your values, align with what you want and what you desire to do. Think different thoughts? Absolutely. But will align with what you believe is important and believe in you that you can accomplish it. Carol says, I've learned to stand up for myself. Those that think I need to change my daily habits are not walking in my shoes. They don't know my goals. They don't know that my end result is on paper and I want to get there. I also have learned not to judge them or get them to change. I just try to take care of me. Carol, that's fantastic. And something jumps out from that you said that's so wise. You've learned not to judge them or get them to change. Trying to convert the wrong set of everybody's on your committee, especially if these are people from way, way back in your past, they don't even know they're an influence in your life. You can't convert them. You can't change them. You don't need to judge them. Like Carol said, don't try. Use that energy to take care of who you are, go where you want to go, and make sure that you are continuing to act with honor, bringing honor to your situations. Tammy, hi. I have a feeling you dropped off accidentally, so welcome back. We're glad to have you. So we're talking about who's on our Everybody Committee. Who is speaking to you, influencing your decisions, influencing you when you want to put your hood up on the beach because you're cold, but you know it's going to make you look like a worm? That's me. Maybe nobody else worries about that, but in my book, everybody doesn't walk along the beach looking like a worm. They usually have their hoodie down and their hair is blowing beautifully in a slight breeze. And even if they're cold, they don't look it. That everybody does not exist except for in my head. And for years, I held myself to that silly standard. Powerful stuff. When we can start to evaluate just who is everybody in my life, everybody isn't doing it. There are some people who are doing something different. Everybody doesn't think X. There are many, many people who think Y. And you get to choose who you assemble your committee, with whom you assemble your committee. Ignore the grammar there, but you know what I'm saying. You get to pick who you listen to. You get to pick who's on your team. I was at a vision board workshop that I held out at the Lexington House Bed and Breakfast, A Night to Remember, in Lexington, Michigan. It is a wonderful place to stay. It is a wonderful place to host or have something like a vision board workshop. It was just beautiful from start to finish. And one of the attendees there was somebody that I used to work with way back in the day at a government agency. And she followed her dreams and went off and did a different job and left that organization. And I, of course, left years after she did. and followed my dreams to do what I do now, to help people lead themselves and others well. And she and her friend came out to that vision board workshop. We had such a great time. And then we went out to lunch together after, had great conversation. And when we were getting ready to leave, she said, "You're on my squad. You're on my squad." I was so honored. Who's on your squad? Who's on your squad? What a privilege to be counted as a cheerleader for somebody. What a privilege to take one of those seats, because no matter what we think or how we perceive it, there really are only a handful of people that are on our Everybody Committee. And when you put the people on that board that believe what you believe, but think different thoughts, that love you, that want the best for you, that are hopeful, that are positive, that are encouraging, that are honest, that hashtag bring the honor. When you replace those judgmental, snarky everybody's with everybody's who are compassionate, caring, supportive, wise, every decision you make now, instead of it being like you're trying to walk through glue, you can run because you've got all this energy and support that's helping you do it. If your Everybody Committee is holding you back, holding you down, you get to replace them. Many times they didn't even ask to be put there. Many times we just put them there. I worked for a leader once who, the best way I can describe it is, she still ran her department. It was large. She was an executive. She ran her territory as if she were still trying to compete with the cool kids in high school. And it was devastating to the people she led. And it was so obvious that whether she knew it or not, there was some mean girl from back when she was 16 or 17 years old who was still criticizing her, making fun of her, bullying her, telling her she wasn't good enough. She showed all of that to us every day. And she was in charge of a huge territory. It was tragic, it was sad, and it was also frustrating and debilitating. Her Everybody Committee wasn't a pep squad, wasn't a cheerleader. Her Everybody Committee tore her down, and every decision she made, she second guessed. It was tragic. You get to choose who you listen to. You get to choose the voices that are chiming in your ear. And I invite you, as you look at those statements that you wrote down just a few minutes ago, that statement, everybody wants me to. If you had to put a name on that, whose name would you put it there? Whose name is that really? Everybody wants me to. Everybody wants me to graduate from college. Everybody wants me to go to school to be a teacher. Is it everybody? It's probably just one or two people. How about everybody thinks I'm stupid. Everybody thinks I'm ugly. Everybody thinks who is that? Because everybody doesn't think that. I don't think that. I don't think you're stupid. I don't think you're foolish. I don't think you're silly for getting your hopes up. Everybody thinks I'm a Pollyanna. Who thinks that? Everybody thinks I'll never get anywhere. Who is that? Who is that? Because it's not everybody. You get to swap that person out. Give them the boot. I know of a man who is spending thousands and thousands of dollars and many hours of his time trying to prove to everybody that he can be successful. And he's pursuing something that brings him no joy. He's spending money that he doesn't have, all in an effort to show everybody that he can be a success. It's time to swap out your everybody. Missy, you've got a great observation here. Sometimes we are our own everybody. Yeah, Missy, we've got an inner critic. You've got an inner critic. There's a voice in our head that sometimes, and you know what, Missy, yes, I agree. Sometimes that voice is us, but it's not our true selves. It's not who we truly are. It's not who God created us to be. Yeah, that's a part. That's a part of us that was hurt or scared or burned or frightened, abused, disappointed, neglected. There are parts of us that didn't get what they needed when we were growing up, or even now. Depending, as adults, we don't always get what we want or what we need. But our true self, the self God created us to be, compassionate, caring, curious, connected. That's the potential you have inside of you. That's the potential I have inside of me. And if you're one of those, if you know that one of those voices in your head is one of your parts that's trying to help but doing a really bad job, reflect on that. Because those parts of us that seem to be so critical or so harsh, I believe that they are truly just trying to help us. They might be misguided. A lot of our everybody's are misguided people trying to help us, but they're wrong. They're misguided. Missy says, amen. You guys, this is one of those Thrive and Change Sunday Night Live lessons that you can munch on for a while. It is going to feed your soul as you consider who are the everybody's in your life. Who are the influencers that you're gauging all of your behavior based on what they think, and they may not even know it. The mean girl from high school does not think about you at all. But I will tell you this, there are other people near you. They might not be close yet, but they're near you. That when you shift your focus, when there's a vacancy on your everybody committee, when there's a seat that you're saving for somebody who cares, who supports you, who is a true friend, who brings the honor to your life, when you have a seat open for that, you are going to find somebody to fill it. Carol says, I'm seeing so many of you reach your goals and it's so inspiring. Isn't it though? Isn't it though, to watch the people who are in Sunday Night Live, who take part in live stream leadership, to watch these people grow and thrive is spectacular. And Saturday morning in class, we learn how to move forward and surround ourselves with an everybody committee that is supportive and growing, just like we are. It's beautiful, isn't it? It is, Carol. Thank you. All of us are better in our decisions and believing in ourselves, she said, and that is the truth. We're growing every day. The more we know, the more we can do. Corinne says, I call my inner critic Nellie Olson. That's fantastic. And when she gets too loud, I summon my Laura Ingalls Wilder and tell her to be quiet. Oh my gosh, I can relate to that. That's beautiful. That is incredible. Nellie Olson, and when she gets too loud, Laura Ingalls. That's fantastic. I love that approach. Yes, even Nellie Olson, even Nellie Olson can get put in her place. For those of you who were not fans of Little House on the Prairie, that's a reference there. I highly recommend those books. They're historical fiction and they're really great. And Nellie Olson, she's the girl we all love to hate. And Laura, of course, is who we all want to be. She didn't take any guff from her. That was awesome, says Pam. Yes, it is. It is a worthy pursuit to just reflect on who our Everybody Committee is and make sure that if there's somebody there who's not bringing me honor, that we kick them off. We kick them off. You don't get to be part of my Everybody Committee, and I'm going to replace you with somebody who is going to be supportive and encouraging, who wants to grow like you want to grow. You can do it. I love it. Anything else before we wrap up? It was so exciting to see you all here and just feel this great energy because I know that there are people in your life and mine who are inside of us being critics. They're being that internal Nellie Olson. And we have the power to tell them to step back, step off, so that we can go about our business, getting things done, thriving in the midst of change. And I promise you this, when you are surrounded with those 4 or 5 voices, when those are the voices you hear, when you surround yourself with those kind of people that support you, that are encouraging, that want you to grow, that want to grow as well, when you do that, your progress toward the impact that you want to make on the world is going to be exponentially larger than it has been to this point. Because when everybody wants you to stay stuck, when everybody thinks you're stupid, when everyone expects you to do the same thing you've been doing for the last 20 years, when everyone's always telling you that your dream is dumb, when you replace those everybody's with people who say, everyone on my committee, everyone wants me to stretch and take risk. Everyone thinks I'm awesome and capable. Everyone expects me to do great things. Everyone's always telling me that I can do it and they'll help me along the way. When you get a committee full of cheerleaders like that, when you get those kind of voices on your squad, you are going to be stunned at not just how much better your life is, but how much more impact you have. Missy, I believe this 100%, Missy. When you have a supportive, safe group like we have in Livestream Leadership, you hear their voices instead of others. You can hear their encouragement and love drowning out anything everybody says. And Missy said, I started typing that before you started saying that. Amen, Missy. I agree. And Missy, Pam, Corey, Carol, Tammy, who else is here who commented tonight? Laura and Denise. Yes. Each one of you has been applying what you've learned in your life in such unique and amazing ways. And it is bringing forth a lot of fruit. It is bringing forth love and peace and joy and contentment because you're taking the time to apply the principles that you learn into your life. It's amazing. It's amazing. You guys, I love you. I love you so much. I love spending time with you. I love Sunday Night Live because I get to spend time with you. And I'm excited to carry on this conversation even after our live is over. So keep those comments coming and look to these names and these voices that you hear and see during Sunday Night Live. These are people who could have a place on your squad. They could. If you've got a seat, you just might want to have some voices like these, the people you meet here on Sunday Night Live, to take one of those seats and say, yes, I believe you can do it. I know you're going to do great. And if you mess up, we're here to wipe you off and get you back up and in the ring again. With that, I want you to know I love you. Mwah. Take care. Have a great week. Bye.